Hello and welcome back to Mzansi. We're back up again. This is that time of the night where we have to talk about what happened in that case. Hey, I know it is tedious. It's like studying those notes. It's like studying a Bible. And then you have to go and write. You go in circles. You come back, you read whatever you have to read. Insofar as you read, you need to also go back again subsequently and restart reading what you read.
And collaborate.
That's basically what we have to say. Guys, I'm sure you're wondering what is that super chat is doing there. Yes, this is Isaiah.
Thank you.
It's a super thank you.
It's not a super thank you, it's a
thank you. Yes, it's a thank you. It's a super thank you. It's super in any case. Isaiah decided to do this.
Thank you, Isaiah.
La kwaZulu ke mina la ngiphuma khona, they say amandla omuntu kawadlele bumnyameni. So we had to put it here and say thank you. May God bless you.
Continue to
may
bless
you achieve whatever that you want to achieve. May your finances also, because we are using them to help other people, increase. And we are saying this from the bottom of our heart for everyone who does this and for everyone who watches our videos and adverts and everyone who's a member. Thank you, all of you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
And guys, we sort of heard you when you corrected us yesterday. The chat that was read here yesterday. The person
yes, it was taken out of
did
context.
Not mean
no
any wrong. So we are the ones to come and apologize. We
apologize
it was
to the German
our
flag
misunderstanding.
Man.
Which genuinely I expected the language expert to assist me, but I'm not gonna go there.
No, I'm not a language expert. When did I say I'm a language expert? I'm not. I'm not. I caught I just saw the comment and I saw stupid podcast and I thought, oh my God, here we go again. But turns out the person was responding to one of those bots, those crazy bots.
People who were bullying us.
Yeah, those crazy
and bullying
bots.
net. Yes.
Yes. So those crazy bots were going wild on the chat, and they were calling our podcast stupid podcast and stuff.
Oh yes.
And then she responded, and she tagged Net, and she said, Net, they are saying that you bought a speaker.
Confuse the enemy.
You bought a speaker, Siloseo implying that thing. So that person, Siloseo, like that person, that bot. We're not even gonna say it's a person because bots there's a lot going on with the crafting of bots and stuff.
Yeah, they are assisting the case. Well,
so sorry, man.
I mean, this is probably our subscriber really is doing.
Thank you for fighting for us and for protecting Net.
And also, you might need to protect Isaiah again because look at what.
Yes. Let's. Yeah.
Thank you guys for protecting each other. By the way, we see you. Someone goes in there and asks, Zanzi Reality, are you here? And then people answering. We see like that, guys. Thank you very much.
Yes,
that's basically advertising.
We can't respond because now I'm making notes.
No, even if I had time, I wouldn't do that. I'm not that kind of a person to go under as a busy end. Guys, thank you very much for doing that. That is on its own is an advertisement that you are doing for us, and we appreciate it. It is equivalent to any super chat and whatsoever.
Yes.
We appreciate that because that shows that you are part of this channel.
Oh yes, definitely. Hey, there's a lot to unpack today, Mr. Anonymous. So I think we should get started. What do you guys say?
No, we should get started. There were a few things that were interesting for me. I think if I was the one who was asking questions, my questions will be crafted in a different manner. I like what Gininde is doing here, collaborating and
connecting
the dots, right?
Yes. We can say that's pretty much what they're trying to do.
Yes. And obviously, the disturbance from Nisi is not welcomed in any case. And, the judge is going to be the judge. There's nothing we can say. You know, when players say, I cannot say anything about referees because I'm going to be charged. Yeah. That's all we can say. The judge is going to be the judge doing what the judge does. How he does it, I don't know. Every day he wakes up and does it over and over again. Mshololo's objection, I just want to start about the hearsay evidence. Yes. After what you showed me, Emily, about that video, where in Aten, I think it's an American Aten, right?
Oh yes, it's a clip from the diary. Was it Diary of a CEO podcast?
Yes. Who was really lambasting such things where you miss a point, but your actually objection is correct or your submission is correct.
But you don't know how to
put it. In this case, I think that's what, and the judge is actually enjoying that a lot because he never corrects. Normally, a judge who is patient and happy
he only corrects when it's the state.
Yes.
In such a position or a predicament, he's happy to help the state.
Is in that court. I don't know, man, how she does it every day. The level of belittling that is happening in that court to Mshololo, more so. Mshololo does not even finish the submissions.
No.
I get you. Yeah. If Mshololo is correct, and if it's wrong, they're gonna have a filthy. They just enjoy dragging. But it's okay. I mean, people show themselves every day who they are and how they actually enjoy being on top. Rob versus Hepworth never works for the defense, in my opinion. It is one-sided. It's like a knife that is sharp on one side. The other one is just as bad as they come. So it is what it is. There's nothing we can do about that. Just remind you to like the video. We enjoy seeing you here. Please like the video, share the video, subscribe, become a member, and do everything that you can do that is allowed and acceptable within the guidelines of this YouTube and this Mzansi reality also. Yes, Net is here. Hi, Net. And I see Zodwa Dlamini is also here.
Hi, Zodwa.
But we are a force to be reckoned with, tough as they come. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Roland is also here. Right, Emily.
Yes.
Let us start. But the approach before we go that I would take is looking at the loopholes of what, if I was an investigator, I would have looked at. Towards the end, there's a very interesting part where Gininde is giving freebies. You know, it's free. Take it. It's there in front of you. Take it. And I hope that the defense is going to take it. And I'm saying this with the utmost respect that I have for the defense. Continue, Emil. I don't want to say it now. Let's say it towards the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, State Prosecutor Advocate Judge Baloyi in the morning informed or said that he was informed by Advocate Mnisi that the defense lawyer, Thulani Mgomezulu, was not in. Baloyi said that they wanted to discuss the matter in chambers. So, apparently the judge said that he expected Mgomezulu to update him about his condition yesterday as a form of courtesy. But Mgomezulu ignored him.
Oh, what? Show you my medical status?
Update him on how it's going with his health.
And show what I'm drinking. What if I'm drinking ARVs?
I don't know where this is coming from. He said that yesterday Mgomezulu didn't even approach him. He ignored him. But this is shocking because remember how I think I wanted us to come and do the live. But because we were still setting up the microphone, I was like, okay, I let it go. But I was so infuriated with how he handled that whole situation before the adjournment at the announcement of Mgomezulu being sick.
Yeah.
He gave an attitude as if Mgomezulu was making up the illness. And he was even asking for the name of his doctor, making comments about how he was scammed by his interns in the past, producing fake letters of admission. So he wanted to make sure. Did you guys remember that?
Yes.
All that tone and disrespectful comments that were being made. And I was fuming on that day, but we ended up not even going live. But it was condescending, and he made it seem like Mgomezulu was faking his illness, either that or he was going to go and get a fake sick note. So I don't understand why he wants
and he's
now
saying you must come back and be grateful.
I don't
Show
understand.
courtesy.
What courtesy? It's not in his control of him falling sick.
Maybe this just should be reminded, professionalism that is always talking about.
Yes, and people have
So
rights.
people
cannot
submit
be
certain
like
things.
mules.
You cannot treat them like a domestic worker that you have that does not know their rights. More so lawyers. You can't treat lawyers like that, where they have to come to you and crumble and show you some respect as if they disrespected you by being sick.
He even had the audacity to ask the accused number one if Mgomezulu was fit to stand trial. Who does that? It was very crass in how he handled that whole thing. It was not professional. It wasn't, and it triggered me of my past experiences where I felt like I didn't deserve to take a day off sick.
There are CEOs that do make you feel like that.
You show up. You have to show up.
They are managers
near the death door, just so you can qualify to get your leave. Hey, people do terrible things to people out here. It's bad. So I felt triggered. I was like, "What is this? What am I being subjected to? When is this going to stop?"
It doesn't.
So Mnisi. Then he asked that they go to the chambers and discuss the situation. So when they came back, Nisi said that he...
Very well handled by Miss.
Yes.
Very well handled by Miss. To actually remind the judge, I asked you to go to chambers because we know the issue of foot in the mouth. Next thing you'll be saying things. And he was about to say things.
By saying
he was already ranting.
Ignored him. When did you ask him how he was feeling? Why are you saying he's ignoring you? After he saw, maybe he was updated on the comments you had, even wanting to ask about the authenticity of the doctor. Who will do that? Who will volunteer sensitive information regarding their illnesses to somebody who already is giving an attitude of not believing that they are sick?
No one.
So then Advocate Nisi said that he was requested by Mgomezulu to stand in for him as he needed to see a doctor yesterday to review his attendance. He had with the doctor last week, and he further indicated yesterday that he doesn't know what the doctor will say with regards to his attendance in court today. And it seems that the doctor had requested for him to be home. So he does not know for how many days he will be taking off. And he also requested that if he's not here today or tomorrow, then Mnisi must stand in for him. And Mnisi said that he mentioned that he was only avoiding to request a further postponement of this case or prolong it on account of his condition.
Yeah.
So that's very considerate of him, considerate for his client, that rather than delay, the whole proceedings, because we all know that the song will never end and the JP now is gonna be involved and mentioned, so he would rather have Mnisi stand in for him. So Mnisi said that he had discussed the request with his client in his presence, and Mr. Sibiya confirmed that he does not have a problem with it. So the judge asked Mr. Sibiya if he agreed and confirmed to those arrangements. And he said yes, he agreed. The fact that he was not even making eye contact, I don't know if it's me reading too much into the situation, but the way he was addressing
the man does not have,
like he wasn't even looking at him, like
people's skills is needed. I'm just saying, this is my opinion. In my opinion, I feel like for someone who deals with a lot of people, I'm surprised. I'm really surprised. It's almost
as if there's an unwritten rule that when you are accused, you are not supposed to even be treated like a human being.
No, yeah, a pig.
I don't know.
Yeah, equivalent to a pig.
Is that an unwritten rule that maybe perhaps you are not aware of? Because I'm like, you are not even making eye contact with this person. What is going on? Or maybe not make eye contact, but just look in his direction as you are speaking to him, But Angas, maybe I'm reading too much into the situation. So Advocate Baloyi continued with the evidence.
Well, guys, someone is saying the sound is repeating. Do you hear that also? Do you hear an echo? Something like that? Or someone needs to refresh their phone?
Okay, guys, we need feedback on the sound. Apparently, what does the...
Yeah, but no one is reporting such here. I think it's the phone. I think it has to do with one person.
What do they mean it's repeating?
Maybe it's like an echo. Yeah.
Oh. So, Advocate Baloyi continued with the evidence in chief of Brigadier Gininda. He was continuing with the withdrawals from the net bank account of accused number 1, and they continued with the withdrawals from Sibiya's net bank account on the 19th of March 2015. He read them out, and I'm not gonna do that. I did write them just to look for evidence and stuff, but I don't think... Is there anything important that you spotted on the reading of those transactions?
The bank transaction?
Yeah.
No.
I skipped them, guys. I'm sorry, but I couldn't
find... It was just a reading of
it's just a time dragging type of situation there. I felt like it was. I even wrote it with my hand just to see if I can spot something. I couldn't spot anything that is like hoo-ha-ba-la-ha or shocking. But if you guys feel like I missed it, then you're more than welcome to share it with us, okay? Tell me. So after going through a number of transactions, Gininda now has referred back to the factors he considered before concluding that there were intruders in the Khumalo house. And Baloyi asked him, you mentioned that there were several factors which led you to believe that there were intruders, and Gininda said that was correct. Baloyi said you also mentioned Constable Mthethwa and Constable Matebula's evidence of what they were informed of on arrival on the scene. I wish to refer you to Mthethwa's evidence given on the 15th of August 2023 and place it on record when Mthethwa said that they received a complaint via radio control. So he was actually reading that part of evidence when Mthethwa was testifying, and he said that they received this complaint via radio control around 7 minutes to 9 at the police station, that there was a shooting in progress at Mzamo section. The complainant came through at 7 minutes to 9. When they arrived there, they were informed that they ran towards the direction of the park. They went there, switched on their lights to see if they would not see anyone running, but they saw nothing. So this is Mthethwa narrating that whole situation of as the first police that were called to the scene. What happened? We all know that according to Mthethwa's testimony, they were kind of distracted. Okay. Yeah. They were distracted by this lady.
And again, people using it to their advantage. And I don't know how many times I can count in some of the statements where things were said and there was a context given to that. And the judge,
he doesn't care.
Who's always on people's back about giving full context. of certain things. He's happy for these shortcuts. You know? He's happy. It's like now Umthetho are saying, they said, no, those people ran away. It's like, that's what they're saying. They are saying, we were pointed.
Yes.
We didn't see anyone or anything to suggest such.
There is a woman who said, hey, once he saw that the police are here, hey, they're parking. So instead of them going
it
to
could
the
be
home,
Mapiri,
it could have been anyone.
just buying time to clean if it allegedly.
It could have been anyone at this point. But it was a
could
woman.
It could be Tabi.
It could have been Tabi. While Mapiri was busy mopping, allegedly. It could have been. But it could have been anyone. But this is Mthetho's testimony. So Bale then asked, you also referred to the evidence of Constable Matebula given on the 16th of August 2023, which Gininda read, and it said at 20:53 we were at the police station detaining. While there, we received a complaint via radio control that there was a shooting in progress at 13511 Kutlanong Street, Mzamo, Vosloorus. When the complaint came through, we stopped everything and rushed to the shooting in progress. When we got to that street, we saw people standing outside. We saw a certain lady with just a body, but she is just a lady. Okay, here something went wrong, because from what I recall, when I was documenting, Mthetho was trying to describe, no, it wasn't Mthetho, it was Matebula. It was trying to describe, like, you know, a
woman
thick
with the body.
Yes, with a voluptuous.
Yeah.
You know, yes, silhouette. That's the type of description he was trying to give. So this with the body, just the body, this is where I see now that, you know what, court transcripts need assistance with recordings, because, Haibo, what is a body with just a body?
They can actually change some of these things, the context from, because now body with a body.
What is that now?
Woman with a body.
Yes, he was trying to describe that, you know, it was a thick, but then I guess they are listening. They don't have the privilege of maybe seeing the visuals as well. I don't know, but there was an expansion. There was an expansion, I remember, because they were looking for context as to what he meant, and then the interpreter was also assisting to say that it was, you know. Yes. So Gininda then said, right at the beginning, when I was trying to establish as to whether there were intruders or none at the preliminary stage of the analysis of this docket. So this is one of the aspects that he says he looked at, and that it is the first responding officers being informed. So this is one of the factors that he says he considered from the first responders who were told that those people ran in a particular direction. And this, to him, was a clear indication that they were intruders. So he based his conclusion
on the basis of what the police were. What if they were being deviated, sir? Have you heard about the cleaning that happened? What do you make of that? What do you make of that? Because what if they were being deviated, buying more time?
You know what's even disturbing or rocking my soul? Like, he based his conclusion on two police officers' statements who were directed by an unidentifiable woman whom they could not even track or trace after she redirected them, taking them away from the crime scene, from where they were called. He did not even base it on what the people in the house told him first. He did not base it on the two police officers, just the two police officers that were deviated away from the scene on that night. That's where he based. I started being worried here. And I feel like this supports the claims I used to make or the aspersions I used to cast to say, what was the investigation? I'm not getting a sense.
I haven't found anything that suggests there was proper investigation here.
I'm not getting
Someone can talk about 2% of blood that was 2%. Never there.
As for 2%, as long as it's 2%, it's a match.
Where is it coming from, that 2%? Who said there was 2%?
Yo, Mawe. Kore he. I can't believe what I'm hearing. Because I'm like, this is what we were waiting for. This is the evidence that we were anticipating. Sure. So he says that they were called to the house, not the park. Okay, that is my opinion, basically. Remember how even under cross-examination with Advocate Mshololo, she was highlighting this aspect, that you were called to the scene with Mteto. You decided to not go to the scene, but go somewhere else. So, already. But here's Brigadier Kininda basing his conclusion on that.
On that blunder. He's using that blunder.
Yes.
To solidify the issue of intruders.
This is a seasoned investigator.
So my question is, would he differ with me if I was to ask him that he was already investigating towards intruders?
Yes.
He never investigated on both sides. No intruder, and there was an intruder. There is no sign. Before he even
opened the docket, he already had made up his mind that they were intruders.
Exactly.
Is it fair to ask such a question?
Because there is no sign that suggests that, my lord. Let me make an example. We talk about DNA. There's no one, I don't even think that expert. In fact, when he was testifying about the DNA, he never mentioned 2%. What that thing was saying, you can almost make it be equivalent to the gun, the bullet rifle, the bullet grooves. Do you remember how we explained them? I mean, there are things that can be common. But he never said with DNA you need to be 100%. There is no 2%, 3%, 4%. What is that?
With DNA, it's 99.9.
Yes, 99.9.
If it's not 99.9, it's not a match. Unfortunately, it can be 14.
Where are you
getting
to 2% for what?
It can be 56. It can be 85. I mean, as long as it's not 99.9.
We definitely would have common things, but that doesn't mean that we are related. I mean,
no, it does not mean that we are related.
If we were relying on 2%. Then
all of us would be in that courtroom, get implicated, get in that DNA. All of us, literally, got 2%. So, yeah, Kirina said that this was in relation to the neighbors who said that they saw people running. We also had 2 officers who were informed that there were people who ran to a particular direction. He said that he could not ignore that there were intruders. There are independent witnesses who had no reasons to mislead. So, a mistake
that happened. Those people who did not know where the scene was, as those.
No, they knew.
I mean,
they were redirected.
Yes, that's what they are saying. I got their defense. They said at the point we couldn't cordon off that place because we didn't even know if the scene happened there. We were told that there was shooting in progress.
Yes, I remember.
It could be in the road, it could be anywhere, it could be in the park. So when someone pointed us that way, that was their point of departure, which is much more acceptable. It's fine. Let's accept that. We never got off the car. We went there to run after those people that were told they ran that way.
And they were constables at the time. They were constables. So you're going to use this mistake to create a whole case.
No, not the whole case. Your conclusion of intruders is based on that. It's nonsense. I would like to echo Nisi's word. It is nonsense.
Oh my God. So yes, he said that they were not part of the people who were inside the house. So the judge asked Gininda about the neighbor who passed away, Mr. Ngache. He asked if he was a police officer.
What was that question for? Why are you asking that question?
I don't know.
Mr. No, I think I understand why he asked it.
Why did he ask that?
He was doing what he does.
Confusing the record.
Not confusing the record
What
this time.
was he
It's just
doing?
simple, straightforward thing. In my opinion, he was trying to solidify the evidence because this is a former police.
But it's not about him, it's about the police. It's about the two constables who were directed.
It
So,
seems to
Ungache
him. It seems to him the police would never lie. Well, Ngache was talking a different language.
In a different tune.
On a different tune, unfortunately.
But his statement, unfortunately, could not be handed in because he passed away.
Unfortunately.
It would have amounted to hearsay evidence. That's what Advocate Baloyi said
And
when Advocate Mshololo wanted to use that
statement. And in
statement.
his defense, the judge is defending, saying that the son referred. If I say I was with Emily, now, therefore, Emily's statement, if he passed away, they should use it. Just because I said I was with Emily. And yet, when it comes to Ginindi testifying, when Mshololo was objecting, he used that thing.
He did.
And saying that this is a direct. So, Ngache's brother is referring to a direct thing that was happening in that house. I was with my father. What is different from what this guy is testifying about? It was my encounter. It was Ngache's brother's encounter. The son. It was his encounter of what happened. I was with my father in that house.
So Gininda said that Ubab Ngache was a retired warrant officer and he disposed of an affidavit and also the same indication was given. So Advocate Baloyi could not read his statement in court because it will be hearsay evidence as Mr. Ngache had passed away. So when the court of public opinion found out that he was a police officer from the documentary, right? The Netflix documentary.
Yes.
So my question is, where did the judge find out that he was a police officer? Where did he find out from?
He says that evidence was... It was
mentioned in court. Do you guys recall it being mentioned in court? I don't. I do not.
I think it was used by Mngomezulu at some point, if I'm not mistaken, with a white t-shirt.
Oh, with the white t-shirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's as far as it comes. And yeah, Mngomezulu did elaborate on
mention that he was a police officer.
Yes, I think so.
Okay. So he mentioned that one of the lady saw a guy with dreadlocks running away and that the people in the house said that one of the intruders had dreadlocks. And he called this objective evidence. If you look at it objectively, Gininda was now calling this objective evidence. Gininda went on to explain that he looked at that evidence along with the objective evidence like the DNA that was found at the crime scene, excluded everyone that was in the house.
Which DNA? And this thing was started by the judge. I would say so because he's the one who said that DNA is inconclusive.
You see that inconclusive part.
That's why we always say the judge should keep quiet. And then you hear people saying it was inconclusive. People should listen properly because such things is giving these people momentum to say, it was inconclusive. We heard what we heard. We can go back and re-listen. They said that thing excluded, not inconclusive.
So Gininda was trying to use the inconclusivity of things.
Using 2%.
by saying it's 2%. If
And
it's
then we are
2%,
supposed to
it's
say-
matching. According to him as an investigator, ziyafana zonke lezinto. Given that attitude that we usually get from some of our police officers
This
when
is
we
a
go to them.
seasoned lawyer. This is a seasoned investigator, apparently, who does not understand the issues of DNA. This is someone who was working on taxi violence, right?
Yes, unit.
That means you're always dealing with your DNAs and whatnot, because there people take each other out
Yes.
a lot.
Mm.
How were you dealing with these cases if you are coming with your 2%? Is this how they were closed? 2% on the basis of 2%, and your word against the accused words, they go to jail
Because of his
while the
2%.
killers are probably outside.
And we are for Stella. To me, the scariest part is, you know, when you are wrong, right?
You have to accept
You
that you are
have
wrong.
to accept that you are wrong. For me, what's disturbing is his inability to comprehend.
to self-correct.
You understand what I'm saying? Or to admit if he doesn't understand DNA evidence that I do not understand. To me, that's the scary part. To me, that's what freaks me out. It makes me scared to think that someone knows that they are wrong, but they continue in the wrongness with confidence and with force that it is so because they are saying it. I don't know if it makes sense. To me, that's the scariest part about this whole situation. There's no such thing as 2% of DNA matching. It's a match. There's no such thing. I think he knows that there's no, but it's the forcefulness.
You know what also surprises me is that they are saying they were neighbors. He's saying they were neighbors who saw people running. Who are those neighbors?
Who are the neighbors?
Ntabi said he didn't see anyone. He didn't see even Longwe.
Who are the neighbors?
The Ngashe,
I
they
can
saw-
remember Ntabi saying that he saw people when she was standing outside the yard in the car with her friend. That she did testify to that, but she's the only
running
one.
towards the what?
The park direction.
Yet you didn't see Longwe.
She
Who
said
came
she
in
saw-
first? Yet you didn't see the person who came in first. That was the problem. This is an investigator. So you are telling me, as an investigator, Ntabi tells you he saw people running, but he did not see Longwe. Came first. Who came out first? He did not see Long, and you still concluded that that's it.
They were intruders
I'm eating
in
it.
the house.
I'm eating it. It's they were intruders. What if it was Long that Ntabi saw? Maybe Ntabi was telling the truth. Saw people running. Maybe it was Long.
Maybe it was long, but we don't know.
Because he never saw.
He didn't
say
even
I
ask.
saw Longwe, and then I saw other people coming out.
He didn't even ask Ntabi saying he didn't. Can investigation and Jan.
Laura, thank you for gifting Bongi Lake membership.
Thank you, Bongi. Thank you.
On your behalf, Bongi, we thank Laura, and I hope you saw that.
Thank you so much. So yes, what kind of investigation is this, guys? Like, shorter. Why didn't you ask Tabi saying who exactly saw? Put a picture of Long. Is this the person that you saw? What do police officers do? Does this resemble the person you saw running away?
Because Longwe said, I ran out. That is information that is there. It's common cause. It's there.
It's there.
So in your investigation, did you put Longwe's picture in front of Ntabi as a neighbor who saw people running down and said, is this the person you saw? Because Longwe said, I ran out.
I ran to the park.
Did you ask Ntabi if it was Longwe?
Oh, God. I'm like, oh, what? No. No ways. No ways. Okay. So, also, like, what he said that it indicated was that the DNA was left by someone else either than the people who were in the house. And I'm like, what are you saying? Then he went on to say the DNA was at a later stage, and then these accused were targeted. Can't the language use, like, what does he mean they were targeted or they were targeting them? Like, guys, I'm sorry, but this feels like some kind of a confession. Like, what do you mean targeted? You targeted them. At a later stage, you targeted the accused. We are still trying to figure out how they were linked. And this language of targeting, I'm like, no. And then they were taken for comparison, he said. So Gininda said that when he got to that stage, he will deal, or when he gets to that stage, he will deal with it, because as much as certain findings were made by the specialists, but there were some pointers by the specialists to say that there are common things that you can find on these people. And for him as an investigator, it was good enough that if it's 1 or 2% of the DNA, for example, pointing out accused number 3, it is enough for him to convince him that he was there as an investigator.
Thank you for boosting membership. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Jay, Olive, Swain, and Diane, Calvin. You are
now
members
the onus is on you guys to keep up with the membership. Net has gifted you, okay? I hope you recognize. And thank her, please. So,
let's just press like, guys. Just for that, guys. Let's push the like also. Press the like button. Yes, continue, Emil. I'm sorry.
You know, as I was hearing that 1-2%, I'm like, you cannot make this ish up. You cannot make it up. A whole investigator is using forceful theories that he creates to. Did he even sit down with the DNA specialist as he was doing his investigation so that the DNA specialist can explain to him how DNA works? Did he even try?
I don't think so. If he did,
another question is whether he's choosing to misunderstand the DNA evidence on purpose, or he just wants the evidence to support the theory that he has already picked and chosen. And this theory, by fire, by force, it must be supported by whatever he finds in that docket. That's my opinion, and that's the questions that I have. So Advocate Nisi, at this point now, he was fed up. He stood to object. He was like, that is not Brigadier Gininda's terrain. Okay, but Brigadier Gininda was now a DNA expert. Now he was playing the role of a DNA expert, as if he knows more than the witness who came and testified as a DNA expert. Now he was like, he even knows the testing of the DNA. I didn't understand what was happening. And what even baffles me more is how Advocate Baloyi just let him be. It was almost as if, I don't know whether he was in shock or he was irritated, or he just he can't call him to order like he's done with other witnesses in the past. You cannot tell me that Advocate Baloyi just let him go on this. This was chacharach. This DNA statement, it was ahead, it was forward. But I'm also baffled by how Advocate Baloyi just let him do it. I mean, I remember even Botumelo getting rough indications to say, and then what happened? You understand what I'm saying? And then what happened? Don't not, and then what? You know, he has ways of cutting them off. But with Brigadier, he just let him go.
The guy is about to finish his degree.
So he has faith in him because he's about to finish his degree. Is that
yes.
what?
Yes.
Sure. Well, he was repeating the very same thing that Mnisi was saying that he cautioned him about. He said Mr. Gininda is not here as an expert. He's here as a police officer. He only needs to bring information to this court, the basis on which this court is going to make a decision. He's not here to analyze the information as though he's the one who will ultimately give a judgment. He's pretty wrong, and the state is allowing him to do that. He said that he doesn't know if the state is allowing him to do that with a view in order to influence the mind of the court. But he said that he's very grateful, reminding the judges that I'm very grateful, my lord, because the court said earlier on that the court is well trained and it is experienced enough to separate the wheat from the chaff. So what Mr. Gininda is doing now is only trying to influence the mind of the court with a hell lot of chaff. What he is stating now is chaff. It's nonsensical. It should not be done. And he further on went to say that, and I'm going to request that the state tell its witness to refrain from what the state witness is doing, my lord, because he is not here as an expert. And we're not interested in his opinion. His opinion matters not. Ultimately, it is going to be the duty of the state on the basis of evidence that Mr. Gininda would have submitted to this court to argue what he is now trying to argue. Otherwise, Mr. Baloyi needs to get to the box and Mr. Gininda needs to come to the point where Mr. Baloyi is standing. They need to swap positions because now it felt like Gininda was the one who was the prosecutor and Advocate Baloyi was the one who was the witness. Because how can he just lead himself like that? He was literally leading himself and Baloyi was just there, stunned. I don't understand. But what he was doing, he said, Mnisi, what he was doing was pretty nonsensical. So Baloyi said that he thinks it's very fresh on the article that the court referred to about courtesy in court. Remember that article that the judge was referring to a couple of months ago. It was quite a long time ago. And he said one would have expected Advocate Nisi to refrain from using words such as nonsensical, no matter how strongly he might object to the evidence. He said, I think there's still a duty to show courtesy to the witness and to the court.
Zidi, thank you very much. You have submitted. Yes, we noticed. Thank you. May God bless you. Membership for 16 months.
Tidi, thank you so much. And Tidi, we see you, we love you, appreciate you so much, like Kaya. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for keeping, the fire burning. So the court had asked the witness a question. He said Ubaloyi in elucidation, and the witness was in the process of answering the question that was posed by the court. And the court had mentioned that it's trained to separate evidence from opinion. Now, in my opinion, I was just flabbergasted. To see what was happening there. It just shocked me. It left me gobsmacked. It
complaining was about LB even. Can't even read properly.
I'm concerned about the reading as well.
It's none of my business. All I want is have to do with this case. It's a question for another day. When he gets his LLB, we'll have to say congratulations.
We don't have a choice, do we?
Yeah, because
but it is no more.
Congratulations are in order, in advance.
And I still can't get over the part of Zungu's testimony where he said that he was typing the typed statement. There was a lady who was typing while he was doing the statement or typing it in Brigadier Gininda's office.
Look, it's okay. Let's continue.
Okay.
Let's not attack the bull.
Yeah. So I just feel like I always had questions about whether there was any investigations that were done, And today I'm getting this, that the analyzing of that docket was why he believes that they were intruders. I still haven't got investigation part, and it seems like he was analyzing the docket, looking for what will support what he already believed.
Okay.
So Baloyi then said the state will request that those gratuitous and unbridled insults by Advocate Nisi. So nonsensical is an insult now. It's a way. And I thought to myself, as Advocate Baloyi was doing this, I'm like, what a sneaky way to get the judge to dismiss Nisi's objection by saying that you were insulted. Do you know those people that when you are maybe having a disagreement with them and then they turn back and say that you insulted them because maybe they're losing the argument? You understand what I'm saying? This is the vibe that I got. So Nisi then said that it's not an insult. The word nonsensical is there in the dictionary. So if Mr. Baloyi is not aware of it, he said I can refer him to that word. The definition of that word simply means that it makes no sense. Oh, wow. Nonsensical. He says, I don't know how insulting that word is. And I heard him mentioning that there is an article on a Sunday. I'm sorry. Article on a Sunday that he read regarding court ethics and stuff like that. That starts with him. That's what this is saying. It starts with Mr. Baloyi. He knows what the duty of a witness who is an investigating officer is. When that witness is given their evidence, it is Mr. Baloyi's duty as a leader of that witness to lead the witness specifically on what that witness should come and tell this court. Not to allow that witness to be on an escapade to want and give evidence that is not in his terrain. Mr. Baloyi has been allowing Mr. Gininda to give opinion evidence. Mr. Baloyi has been allowing, or has rather allowed, this witness on a number of occasions to come with suggestions that the evidence that is already before court demonstrates that accused number 3 was involved in this matter. He now mentions DNA. Previously, he also mentioned a firearm. He consistently allows this witness to go on escapades on evidence that at this stage is inadmissible, and he's basically giving this witness a role that he himself should actually be playing. For instance, the court asked about Mr. Ngache, whether he was alive or not. This witness goes on a rail, and Mr. Baloyi allows that to happen. Then mentions an article. I'm not here to represent myself, is what Nisi was saying. I felt that was powerful. That was a powerful moment. And he said, I'm not here to represent the interest of accused, my interest. I'm here to represent the interest of accused number 3. And I cannot allow evidence such as this one that is coming from Mr. Gininda to go through the record and me sit it down here. Otherwise, I'll be doing an injustice in the representation of Mr. Mncube. But first and foremost, it starts with Mr. Baloyi himself. Baloyi said that they cannot interrupt the witness when he answers a question that was asked by the court. He said he does not understand the objection that was raised by Mr. Nisi. Okay, since when you don't interrupt witnesses? I remember of times when we were supposed to be getting names and you'd be like, that is hearsay. Do you remember the hearsay times? That is hearsay evidence. You would be blocking the juicy parts. But with Brigadier Gininda, there's no blocking of anything. You're letting him go on and on and on. So the judge said that he will make declarations and conclusions regarding the evidence, whether that evidence proves or disproves anything. And he said that he will quote the reasons why he agrees or disagrees with that evidence. Yes, we will be analyzing those reasons. Yes, as the court of public opinion. We can't wait.
We are definitely here for that. You guys, just push the like button. 600 people are watching. We only have 283 people who have liked the video. Please press that like button if you really feel that you are part of this channel. Please do that. assist in doing so. Thank you very much in advance.
So in other words, he was saying, just let Gininda ramble and trust me to make the judgment. Yes. That's what he's in that
Says
court
someone
for.
who's already on the defense mood when it comes to the stage. Trust me. Hate my daughter.
So Mshololo objected as well, and she said that the way in which the evidence is elicited at this point in time is not the correct procedure, especially the reference to the Ngache statement. Ngache is deceased, and that evidence was never submitted to the court. The judge said that he got evidence of Ngache there, and how did, he still said that he had it from the court. So the judge said that the son, Babu Ngache's son, who had come to testify, said that he was with his father, and the father having seen whatever, and now the father is dead. Mshololo said that they should remove the evidence when Ngache's son testified on the content of his father's statement, which are not there, by the way. Ngache's son, I don't recall him testifying on what his father told him.
No.
He just said...
No, the judge was just stretching it so that it can be accepted.
While Mshololo continued with the objection, she said that this witness is also making reference to forensic evidence. He's not an expert and can't analyze it. He's just a police officer. And Baloyi said that their evidence is already on record. The expert has already testified about the DNA. They've already a witness that has testified. So this witness is just merely giving a summation of why he was persuaded that there were intruders. But now my problem is that he's misconstruing the testimonies and the DNA stuff. He's
Yeah, it is that we have highlighted it. We'll highlight it until the end. He's doing that. We see it.
So Baloyi then moved to accused number 2, Bongani Ntanzi. And he said to Gininda, you've confirmed your testimony in trial within a trial where you testified about circumstances of his arrest. And Gininda said, I just want to say the word used by Mninsi, nonsensical, is insulting. He may differ with me and challenge me, but that is insulting. I was simply pointing things that convinced me that they were intruders. I request that we treat each other with respect. And he said that Mninsi will have an opportunity in cross-examination to challenge what he was saying and why he was saying what he was saying. And he said that he was making his observation and not testifying as an expert. To say that these were the pointers that convinced him that there were no intruders, not to say that the expert did not do the work or whether they were wrong or right. He said that if there were no intruders, he would have given the same evidence based on analyzing the docket. Yeah, ne? So, to me, this was worrying, the character aspect of things. I mean, it looks like it's a person who doesn't really like hearing what they don't want to hear. And I'm kind of afraid. It makes me fear for the confession side of things. You know, if you are already like this and not refusing to admit when you are wrong. So if an accused person is before you and they are telling you that I did not do this, so before we don't investigate whether they are telling the truth or not, we just believe what we believe. That to me is kind of scary. So the judge is the one who asked for the tea adjournment this time around, and I was very surprised. I was very surprised. It was like, it's tea adjournment, like, yeah, this is a first. So Baloyi, after the short adjournment, was on accused number 2's confession. A version was preferred by Mgomezulu on behalf of accused number 2 regarding the statement of Colonel Rapadu, and Gininda read what Mgomezulu said. The confession was not written by himself. He was ordered to sign it and was not made freely and voluntarily. So Baloyi also referred to line 18 and he put it on the record, and Gininda said that what Ngumezulu said, he will deny making the statement. The statement came with Brigadier Gininda and he was forced to sign. So Baloyi said that in essence is the version you came with, the statement already written, and Gininda said that is not true. I was not with him. I did not interact with him. So Baloyi then told him to read the other part. The preposition was that he sat on the boot of a vehicle and produced the statement. The vehicle is the BMW. Yes, the white BMW. There was a time where accused number 2 told his side of the story to say that there was a time where Brigadier Gininda came in this white BMW and sat at the boot of the car. So Baloyi was taking Brigadier Gininda to that part of the testimony. And Gininda denied it. He said that's not true. While the confession was being taken of accused number 2, Sergeant Mokgola was booking out accused number 1 and taking him to Tembisa court. So he said it's not true. Here to me, it was troubling because from what I remember, accused number 2's theory, the part about the BMW is later, after they had made him do the confession. He said it happened later where now they took him to this place and then they came with the document and they forced him to sign. Do you remember his story? But then Brigadier Gininda is creating it as if, or he's telling the story as if accused number 2 said that he came with the BMW to where he was taking the confession. I don't know if it makes sense. So it's two separate incidences, but
just one question
he's
for
meshing
Ginindi.
them into one.
Do you have a BMW at home? Is there any BMW that, be it belongs to you or it doesn't belong to you? Do you have a white BMW at home? Does your kid, your wife, if you have a wife, do they drive a BMW, a white BMW? Is it there or not there? Just want to hear that answer. That's it.
Because he also said that the BMW that's being used, or that's in question, was not being used by Sergeant Mokgola. Because Sergeant Mokgola, remember, she testified that she's the one
who's minimizing. That's the thing. That's why I'm opening the second. Is minimizing it, saying to Mokgola, what is Mokgola to Brigadier Gininda? We want to know: do you have a BMW at home? Be it belongs to you or you use it. Do you have BMW at home? Simple as that. If he says no, okay, well and good. Off we go.
So yeah, he said that that preposition was not true. Okay, so yes, now he was saying that Gininda read out what Mgomezulu has said, and if he doesn't sign the document, the assault will continue. Reading from the part of the testimony, and Baloyi said or asked, was Rapadu part of the investigation team? Gininda said he was not known to him, no. When they went to collect the statement, it was the only time that he came face to face with him. Baloyi asked, with his background, when did you meet accused number 2? And Gininda said that on the 18th of June 2020 in Carltonville. This one, however, it caught my attention because earlier on, he said that he met accused number 2 for the first time in Phokeng. And I even noted to myself, I'm like, Aibo, Kanti Mokgola, what did Mokgola say? Mokgola took Brigadier Gininda out of the Phokeng, the Rustenburg, the arresting of accused number 2. She said he was not there. Do you guys remember that? But then Brigadier Gininda earlier on, he said, I met accused number 2 for the first time in Phokeng. And then Advocate Baloyi, in my opinion, picked it up and it needed to be fixed. So he asked the question again. He asked him again to say, with the guide, he asked him with the guidance, now changed his prior statement that he was there at Phokeng.
For the first time.
For the first time.
Yeah, he was leading him. They missed it. I think they should have objected.
And then
But in
that's
any
when
case, he would have done the damage.
he would have.
It doesn't matter because he would have jogged the memory.
So now he said that he was there. He met him for the first time at Carltonville to do a follow-up on his alibi as to whether he was where he said he was when the offense was committed. So Baloyi said it's already on record. Ramosipili said accused number 2 was arrested on the 16th of June 2020. And Gininda said, I was not there, but I was informed. Gininda now on the 18th of June 2020, he read the statement or the court record where it said, I put it to him that I have a reason to believe that he's involved in the murder of Senzo Meyiwa. He was willing to speak to me. What was prudent was that he said he was on duty on the day of the incident. He gave me the date. He also mentioned the company he was employed at. I didn't say the date to him. He just gave me the date saying he was at work. So Gininda said that then Mr. Mulder denied that he was at work. He also submitted a statement in this regard. This is with regard to accused number 2. That's when they realized that he gave a false alibi. So what Mr. Mulder confirmed was that after accused number 2 left in the morning of the 25th of October 2014, he only returned on the 2nd of November 2014. Mr. Mulder has come to testify in court, and he gave clarity to say that he had taken leave or had applied for leave, and he was not expected to return at work on those days because he was on leave that he booked I think 2 months prior. And on top of that, on Sundays, they do not work.
Yeah.
So now Mr. Mulder's evidence is being presented as if... But it's fine. Gininda then said that when they left the building, they spoke to him about the identikit and that it also looks like him. So Baloyi said, let's look at the exhibit BB. And Gininda said, I showed him the identikit, the one with the hoodie. And I said, this person resembles him. He denied it. They're saying accused number 2 denied it and said it's a case of mistaken identity. Gininda said that when he walked away, other officers said that he wanted to say something, and what he said led to the arrangement of the confession. So here's a person who's denying that is not me, and you still go ahead and you arrange for a confession. Okay.
No. You see, the question there is when he called you back, because he says he called him back.
Mm-hmm.
Did he accept that was him on an identity kit?
And then he said he accepted.
No, he didn't say that. I'm just asking that question because
you are asking
now
that
he's
question.
confessing. Now is he accepting? That is, did he in his confession say that this is him on this identity kit? Because he was confessing to you, right? And here's this person who looks like him, which he denied, and you left, and then he calls you back. Now he's confessing. Did he accept the identity kit?
Well, he said that when he read him his rights, he implicated accused number 1, 3, 4, 5, and mentioned Miss Kelly Kumalo as the person who hired them. He said he also remembers him mentioning a VW Polo in the commissioning of the offense. And he said that accused number 3 as the person with dreadlocks and the one who fired the shot. He also placed the role of each other accused. Accused number 5 was mentioned as the person who drove the car, and accused number 4 who was watching out. Baloyi then asked him, the version you put on record earlier on, or that was put earlier on by Mgomezulu, is that you came with a statement. It was already made. Let's traverse with your requesting you to comment. Every now and again, Advocate Baloyi was asking him to not traverse, to not over-explain, to not ramble like he did before. So every now and again, he would remind him not to do that.
Hi, Joe Munare. Guys, please just push the like button. Yes, I'll remind you that. My duty.
Kininda read Ntanzi's confession again. It has been read before in the trial within a trial. Now in the main trial, it's been read again by Brigadier Kininda. It said, I'm Bongani Sandiso Ntanzi. During mid-October, I received a call from Togosiseni Mapisa that there was a job and needed help. And Balwe asked him, did you know anything about this? And Kininda said, no, my lord. Then Kininda continued to read Ntanzi's confession, where it said, I was briefed by the person to be killed was Senzo Meyiwa, and Kelly would pay for the job. Nkani would drive, Sibia would guard, and me and Carlos would go in, and Mapisa would be outside as backup.
Did you know anything about it? No. Here's a simple question that simplifies this. Was it after or before you met Zungu that you had this confession from the accused? Zungu's father, also Absalom. And probably, and yes, obviously, is going to say yes. So, how sure are we that you did not know this information? Because already we are saying Absalom came with information that these people were fighting about money and all that. The details were so in detail. And there's even a statement that was written by the so-called Absalom that has not come to court. So how can we believe that you did not know? How can you say you are investigating the very same thing, the cause of whatever that happened there, people confessing in front of Absalom, and then you say you do not know, you did not know what what was said there? Because that's exactly what these confessions are seemingly saying. Collaborating Absalom. So how do you say that you don't know what was written in this statement?
That's actually a good question. That's a good question. I would like to hear an answer for that question and how it goes. So Kininda continued to read. He said, when we entered the house, Carlos shouted in Zulu, "Pants, imali na my cell phone." And Balwe asked him, did you know these roles prescribed to these participants? And Kininda said that what he knew from the statement of the people in the house was that money and cell phones were demanded in Zulu. So, Mr. Anonymous, I don't know if there's anything else you would like to add.
Yeah, is that the end?
I'm about to go into after adjournment session.
Yeah,
so usually
go continue.
Okay.
That was what I wanted to.
So after the long adjournment, Brigadier Kininda was referred to the testimony of Ntogozisi Twala, and he said that he remembered that the person asked for money and cell phones. So Baloi moved to Zandi Kumalo's testimony during cross-examination, where Zandi said that the person asked for money and cell phones. They moved to Tumelo Madlala's testimony, where he also said that the person asked for cell phones and money, and the person had dreadlocks wearing a hat. Kininda read out Ntanzi's statement, and it said Senzo jumped to Carlos. A struggle ensued, and the second shot hit Senzo. Ntanzi says that he ran out with money and cell phones and proceeded to the silver Polo and waited in a car with Nkani. Mapisa ran in. So Baloi then asked him, did you know these facts? Kininda said the facts that he knew was that Senzo was shot where the bullet went in and out, but he didn't know the names. He also didn't know Mapisa went in. Kininda continued to read. He said that in a short period, he was joined by Carlos, Sibia, Mapisa, and they went to the hostel.
So if he did not know the names, Kinindi, what did Zungu then tell you then? What did Zungu say he was with? If you didn't know all these names, if you did not know them, what did Zungu say? Zungu, he signaled to you that they could be, and then you went and investigated. You were told, right, that I was with these people. I'm suspecting these are the people. Mafiga, so and so. You knew the names. Now you are pretending that you didn't know the name. Man. Some of these things, they don't just need you to hide through the thumb. You just tell us. I mean, you can do whatever you do, but some of these things, they just need you to be honest.
I'm annoyed. I'm very annoyed by this testimony. I'm very annoyed, but hopefully the defense, they know what to do when the time comes. Yes. So Bale then asked him if he knew the facts at the time. He said no. Then Gininda said that it looked like it was a robbery gone wrong initially. This information that it was a contractual killing, it was the first time that they heard it. So the first time they heard of a contractual killing was in the confessions.
I can accept that. I don't mind accepting that.
Okay.
But their names, them killing Senzo. I'm guessing they talked about this. They were fighting about this with Absolu, and they talked in front of Absolu. Eh? And Absolu's son was also with them, in one way or another.
He also testified to that effect.
Now, what are we fooling here?
Why is it these contradictions? They're making my head spin.
Let's continue.
Baloy moved to the evidence of Constable Zungu, where he mentioned that he was introduced to Gadla, or to accused number 3, who he knew him as Gadla. So when Advocate Baloy asked Gininda to read Zungu's testimony, Mnisi objected, asking what the relevance is, because now it seemed as though Advocate Baloy was trying to use accused number 2's confession to implicate accused number 3 now. And Mnisi asked, what was the state trying to demonstrate? Are they trying to demonstrate that this is the content of the confession? Should it be used against the other accused? He said that the law is specific, that it can't be used, and he asked for the state to explain, because to his understanding that the state is doing what the state is doing constitute to irrelevant and inadmissible evidence. So the judge said that it is not how he understands the evidence. He said that the law is clear, O Judge, that a confession cannot be used against another co-accused, but there is nothing debarring the state from quoting what the confessor said in the presence of whoever. Isn't that hearsay evidence? I don't know.
No, it's not. What the judge is trying to say is that you can talk about what you wanted to relay, but it doesn't mean that it's going to get people arrested.
Then Mnisi asked, but what is the purpose of that? And the judge told Mnisi to ask Baloy. So Baloy then said, we have put on record the preposition by Mr. Mgomezulu, who says that Brigadier Gininda came with a statement that was already written. He said that they're just referring to the record to indicate the origin of the name, that it has nothing to do with Brigadier Gininda, but just to merely explain what the source of the name is. And he said, we're not saying that the evidence is inadmissible against accused number 3. We're just quoting the passage to show the origin of the name. That is the whole purpose. Admissible. But then why drag accused number 3 into it? Like, this to me felt like a pointless, I don't know. It felt like a pointless...
No, the explanation of Baloy did not shower this in any glory, but he was just mumbling.
So the judge asked him to continue. Then Gininda placed the court proceedings on record, where Zungu said Carlos was introduced to him, whom he had known as Gadla, whose real name is Mtobisi Ngube, and also referred to him as a Butelezi boy. Asked if he knew what happened in the house, Gininda said that all he knew was that Senzo was shot, but not who shot him. He did not know the name Carlos. So Baloy then asked him, and that demand for money. Gininda said that all he knew was that Kelly's cell phone was taken. He said he did not know anything about the money. Gininda continued reading the confession statement when Tanzi allegedly described what happened after they had left the house. He described how they went back to the hostel after the shooting. He said that he did not know about all of this, even the gray polo Baloyi referred to it as a silver polo. All he knew from the statement of accused number 1 was that the polo was white. So this was the whole corroborating that was happening.
The white polo is a grey polo. White and grey is different. White and silver is different. Well, one thing that is common about the so-called testimonies, none of these guys talks about Zoom.
No.
Even in their so-called or allegedly coerced statements, they don't talk about Zoom. And where is Zoom featuring in all this?
No mention of Zungu anywhere. And they said they didn't know him. So I don't know how they're going to work that one out. In the confession statement...
So that's a question that should be asked. That do you see on all the statements? No one mentions Zoom. But yet Zoom has a story. And this story, in a sense, you are saying, in your own words, it collaborates with the so-called statement.
Confessions.
The confessions.
It does.
Would then you disagree with me if I say these accused who are here, they were coerced into collaborating Zumu's story? Collaborating,
yes. That's another question. But the building up of the question.
It's very important.
Please build up this question nicely. And once it's built up, then you ask. Yeah. So in the confession statement, Tanzi allegedly detailed how there was later disagreements about money, and that resulted in a meeting held by Sibia's family, led by his father. So now Zungu's testimony dragged Sibia's father into this whole story. It then emerged in the meeting that Sibia had already or had allegedly disclosed information about the killing of Senzo, but it was decided in the meeting that all of it should be kept a secret. Ntanzi then allegedly said that he then left. Gininda said he did not know anything about this information. That's what he said. He did not know anything about this information. Gininda said that he met Mjiyakho on the 23rd of June 2020 after he received a call. It was after those discussions with the state that arrangements were made to Rapaju for him to take a confession. The discussions between the parties led to the confession statement. So he arranged the confession with Mjiyakho, and to me, how he spoke about Mjiyakho, honestly, he made him sound like he was a part of the state, in my opinion. I didn't feel the dissociation to say he's a private lawyer. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The whole corroboration, you know, I'm like, isn't Mjiyakho an independent lawyer? Why is Gininda speaking of him as if he was part of the state? But then he asked to explain how he met Mjiyakho. Gininda said that he was called by the officers deployed at the cells and informed that there was a lawyer that wanted to speak to Ntanzi. He said that he told them to allow him to speak to Ntanzi. He said that it was the first time for him to see him. He had never worked with him before from the cells. Ntanzi stood up from the cells and said, "This is my attorney." Did he say it like that?
I guess so.
"This is my attorney." Gininda then said after the introductions, he asked him to identify himself. He gave him his South African ID and letter from the LPC, and he found that he was indeed.
Did it not surprise you that after the person has given his confession, then there is an attorney, and that attorney comes and still that person gives
the second
confession, which you, in your own words, you're saying there's a lot of similarities. What did, in your opinion, what did the second confession seek to achieve? Because as we are saying, nothing. It's not like you're going to exonerate accused number 2. Why would a lawyer bring... This is my question to you, because did you ask that question as an investigator? Oh, it was all good because the second one was seemingly even giving more and doing more correction of the first one, isn't it? Was this Mjiyakho maybe used by you as accused number 2 is saying that he doesn't know where this person mushroomed from? Was he used by you to actually create that loophole of having the second statement in front of the judge so that you can solidify your case?
Very important questions.
Unfortunately, only a person of no color can ask these questions like this. I can tell you right now.
Yeah. With the people of color or legal representatives of color, there's so many requirements. The
This judge would
basis.
simple tell you
Where's the
about
basis? Where's the basis? So now you have to go back to the trial. Do what Balo is doing.
There's no person of no color who can just volunteer and
You're
take
being bullied to
one.
work how Balo works by flipping through pages.
And you're told about Roe versus
Make the
F-word.
witness read. And then after they read, now you have the authority to ask the question.
Alright. Give the full context. Give the full context. But Balo is giving 15% to suit his narrative. And the judge is quiet. You'll see.
Yeah.
The full context is coming back. Once they're starting to question this guy, cross-examine this guy.
Now he's quiet as a church mouse. Wait till cross-examination starts. We'll be hearing. But interruptions after interruptions after.
Let's continue.
So Ginina then said, and the interesting thing here, in the trial within the trial, when they were asked how he knew that Mjiyakho was indeed a lawyer, he said that Mjiyakho gave him LPC letter. Never said anything about a South African ID. So today he added a South African ID to that equation. And Gininda then said he then wanted to know.
Answering bloggers and YouTubers, these people. And when someone's nationality is questioned, let's continue.
So Gininda then said he then wanted to know who the state advocates were, the name of Advocate Baloyi, Advocate Leonard, and Advocate Makwate. By the way, where are these two other advocates? Because it's just Advocate Baloyi with Advocate Sibanda. King Dr. Sibanda now.
They gave it to the headmaster.
So those are the names that he gave, and there was then in engagements that resulted in the arrangement of the 24th, where the confession was then taken. So Mjiyakho was there in this whole arrangement of the confession. So on the same day, there were arrangements that he should make a confession. The understanding was that Mjiyakho would be present. Gininda said arrangements were made for the confession statement to be taken the next day. It was also discussed that Mjiyakho would be there when the statement is given. He said that he was not present, but he saw that he was there when he went to fetch the statement. So these discussions, were they happening with or without accused number 2?
What was the point of you submitting both these confessions? What were you seeking to achieve? Because there was already the one that was...
Why
should
would
we
you
look at this as you trying to justify the correctness of these statements by giving it to two people of different caliber? You're saying, yeah, then I'm justified because they are common. You are saying yourself they are common. Why couldn't you, before you even take this case further, take away the initial one and remain with one?
So Baloyi wanted to quote cross-examination by attorney Ramosipili in the trial within a trial. But then Ramosipili stood up to correct that Mgomezulu is actually the one who was conducting that cross-examination. Maybe it's a typo, but Baloyi then corrected himself. It's actually Mgomezulu in the document, and then asking Gininda to place it on record, where he said that Ntanzi said he never attached his signature to any initials. He was then taken to a place in Germiston to go and sign the confession. By the way, this is where he said he saw the BMW and Brigadier Gininda sitting on the boot.
And he's saying it's not there in AVL. Okay.
Gininda confirmed that all the pages were initialed and the magistrate also signed the document. He said that at some point he made arrangements for Ntanzi to consult with his lawyers. He said he did not testify about this in the trial within a trial, but there were instances where he had to arrange for Advocate Mjiyakho, who was an attorney at the time, with a certain advocate that he had appointed at the time to consult with accused number 2 in different dates. That was happening during the times of negotiation. And I'm like, what negotiations? Is he giving himself away? It's the terminology that is being used here. It's unsettling, Why does this... But let me talk. Baloyi then said, on how many occasions did these consultations take place? And Mshololo objected, saying that this is hearsay evidence. No reference should be made to the conversation between those respective attorneys, especially because they're not even being called to come and testify, right? The state is not interested in calling them. But every now and again, they want to refer to them as if now, they've come and they testified and we are... there's clarity on their roles. And Mshololo even brought up an important point that there's not even a diary entry or anything to support that those visitations took place. But the judge said that he thought it was an arrangement that he made. So Baloyi said that he is not referring to the content of the conversation. Gininda said that it was more than one occasion. Mshololo then said that it is hearsay, and the judge said that it is not hearsay. It is the first time that he hears of such a law. He said that it is direct evidence. Well, Judge, what makes this direct evidence?
Because it was him interacting with the advocate and Mjiyakho.
It was Gininda interacting with the advocate of accused number 2.
For arrangement.
Gininda then went on to read the confession.
Maybe you should have raised it on the basis that it's irrelevant and it's new evidence that they were advocates. We just had this here now.
This is why I miss Mkomezulu.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Gininda then went on to read the confession statement when Ntanzi allegedly said that he needed to be protected from the people he committed the crime with. And Gininda said he was reading Ms. Cronje's confession. The judge asked Baloyi if it was necessary. Baloyi said that it was alende evidence that was going to prove that the confession, that was his confession, and wherein it is alleged that he ended up needing protection from a group of people that he was with, because now they read that part of the confession where he was saying that someone pointed him with a finger, and when the whole thing was done, he was still a young boy and he was not sure where else in Gauteng they were from. They were all grown up. He could not trust the cops because they could also be bribed. I don't know, this part of the confession to me, it sounds, I don't know. Then Gininda said that it was similar to a complaint he had received from one of the witnesses who implicated one of the accused about these threats on their lives. So now they were trying to say, okay, accused number 2 was feeling threats, so it means Zungu's threats.
Reveal it. Let's continue.
Yeah, before going into the second confession, Gininda was asked to point out similarities between them, and he pointed them out. Then he continued to read the confession until court adjourned. Mr. Anonymous, would you like to add whatever you want to add? I'm done.
So my only worry was 30K that was taken by Nkani. Was it withdrew from the bank?
Yes.
Why don't they get the bank statement?
The statement We need the bank statements.
Where is that to actually collaborate this? As an investigator, did you do that? Did you get the bank statement of Ngani you have access to this? Did you check that 30,000 that was withdrew? And does it corroborate your story before you even go further? Now, the other thing is that, which is very fun, I find it very funny, this one. In his confession, the so-called confession, Tanzi says there is a point where, other than Ngani and Carlos both talking to Kelly, there is a point where Carlos talks to Kelly. See, the flop here is that Carlos's cell phone record is there from 2015.
Yes.
The other flop is that Kelly's cell phone records are there for 2014.
Yes.
So, as an investigator, did you bother yourself in trying to check if this matching? Is there any link between accused number 3
and Kelly? Since the confession says
confessions of Ntanzi are that valid to you?
Did you investigate that part? At least that part again. Did it be investigated?
So there's nothing of such. They admitted that.
No, if they had it, they would have shared it a long time ago. Showtime.
And obviously, we know it can mushroom.
Just like other call transactions between Zungu and accused number 1 have mushroomed. It can mushroom. So we cannot just close things. No. As long as he's testifying,
basically, which proves that you never investigated this thing with an intention to find the truth. You investigated this thing to only find the side that you wanted to find. Objection, but I've said what I wanted to say. Because I'm pointing out things that I would have done as a normal person. There is a way I could have done that. More so about accused number 3. You know that the section 205 is there. You know that Kelly's section 205, whether the phone was taken or not, section 205 of that cell phone is there, right?
Yes.
If you want to hide with the other one was taken, you could have compared this and prove your theory. So you didn't. So basically,
everything is
upon
hearsay.
these things that I'm showing you now, do you see that you could have been closer to the truth? To actually see that the people that you claim that were in the house, that you even drew, were not in the house. On top of that, have you considered that the very same sketch, the very same identity kit, was used to arrest the guy that you say was released? The very same identity kit, it was used to, in your own opinion, do these two people look alike? Any of these people here, do they look alike? Do they look like the guy that was arrested? So this identity kit has been used to fit whoever that needs to fit it. Even my client is a victim of that.
Be unapologetic about it.
The same identity kit is saying someone who had dreads was darker, but my client is light in complexion. And you even said it's maybe because he was in jail. He's light. You can see this person is light. But it is used to him to fit the narrative. So, should we believe what you are saying now? Should we believe what you are saying now? How many people have been arrested about this case? How many cases have been dismissed? How many accused have been the very same. Now, today we are here, you are sure about your so-called confessions and whatnot. What about the one who was confessing the other side? What about this one that the Kumalos knew and he was arrested? They never said anything.
No. They even pointed in.
How can we trust people that allowed the cleaning of the house? You are talking about the police. The very same police that are saying the house was cleaned. It had water.
And a bucket and a mop.
The very same people who directed the police to the parking could have been the very same people who cleaned this house. And you are saying your investigation still points you. You're talking about the facts. Now I'm talking about the facts. Now, if you are going to take that line of questioning, you must be immune to judges' fire. But you must always...
Where are you going?
Where am I going, my lord?
He wasn't asking where he was going.
Where I'm going to exonerate my client.
We went to the desert.
That's where I'm going.
We were left with no water. We sank and we came back to shore. And then
it would be very interesting, my lord, if you would ask those questions, not wait for us as a defense to ask those questions, as we are doing with the state.
We were going and we went nowhere.
It would be very interesting.
He was quiet as a church mouse. No asking us.
We've been overruled when we ask where the state is going with this. We've been overruled.
We are lost.
So if this court is going to be aware and awoke, if we ask questions, can it do that on the left and the right?
And the right.
So that the balance is maintained in this court.
For the state to be asked where they were going, because we went to certain places.
When we objected to some of irrelevant things, the court said is able to decipher what is right and wrong. His experience. Can the court be experienced also to do so?
To decipher in this situation, instead of stopping me from exploring this point any further, because the court likes to stop when things should be explored and across.
Hey, we are tired of this thing. Pela, this thing is just a kangaroo court. We are tired. It's tiring. It's the blood boils sometimes. And guys, please like the video.
Already there was no intruders, or you believed that there were no intruders because you based it on your analysis of the docket and Mzungu's testimony. So if anybody in the investigating team were to come and say there were no intruders, what did it mean? Did it mean you were going to listen to what they had to say, or you were going to continue with what you believed?
Right. What you Jesus. Guys, let us start. If you have a call, please call. But for now, let us hear. I'm not sure if we are audible.
So mina ngicela ukubuza Thujana ama question, or ngicela ukubeka nje Thunyana. Kunento engayi understand lana. I-statement so accused number 1 and number 2, and then ilaba confessor khona number 2. Into engayi understand why uba lo uya-accuse lezi zinto engathi zisutha bona. Ngoba okay fine ba confess. Bafuna ukulinka imoto le Polo esilver. Njengoba ba confess bangaphoqwanga ba right ba sober bayonke lento ebuya basho ngakhona. La engidlula khona yini? Ezibona ama-investigator abaziyo ukuthi amacala bawa-investigator kanjani ukuze bazokwazi ukulinka le moto. First in color, second thing in number plate. Ngabe iyafanele why ingabe la number plate lapha? Okay, ngiyadlula lapha ngiya number 2. Kulo kubantu basendlini, the way abasho ngakhona ukuthi bakhuluma ukuthi bafuna imali, bafuna ini bazama ukulinka yonke lento le. Okay, ufika khipha spam. Kula spam manje ekhona ukukhulunywa yini le spam sakhona 9mm. Bonke laba basendlini lapha naba baseboxini lapha as ama-witness bakhuluma nge-revolver. Yini uma bafunda wonke le inkulumo zabo bayikhuluma bafika esibhameni ukuthi sakhishwa abantu bajampa ukuthi yini, but ngale emotweni baba specific bakhohlwa ukuthi bakhulume nge-number plate. Ilaba engi-understand khona, but anyway guys ngiyabonga. So yiyo la into engicela ukuthi kanti bangayicabanga kakhulu. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you for your gift. Can you summarize that?
It was too fast.
Oh, he's saying why are they not doing the same?
No, he said that the state suits. It is like they're picking stuff that only suits them from
yeah,
their
Rob versus
confessions.
Hepworth.
And then he said that the link with the silver polo, why they're talking about the color, but what about the number plate? Right? Is that what I heard correctly?
Yeah.
Why is it not counted or stated, the number plate?
Exactly.
And the people in the house also said that they saw a revolver at some point, but now we have been told about a 9mm.
Yebo.
All the people in the house said a revolver.
Zanzi, hello.
Then they changed their minds.
Hi, good morning, Mzansi Reality. How are you?
Morning.
We're good, sir. We're good.
I'm good. Thanks for taking my call. You're speaking with Shinji here. Mr. Anu, you are 100% right. And we have been saying this, that investigation was non-existent. There was no investigation. Because yes, they've got information that is coming from a confession. You must investigate and corroborate. And then you say what the confessor is saying is true. Because if the person is saying they got 30,000, you need to go and check where's the transfer, where's the 30,000. And if you find it to say, is it the confessor is telling the truth? But none was done. None. And you know where I was lost by this IO is when he said, even if DNA says 2%, to him, he is happy because at least there's 2%. He can see some similarities of accused 3 in the case. And then that was the time I gave up on the investigating officer, because to me it doesn't make sense. I was looking at my DNA results here. It has got a list of things and then the numbers, and it says matching. So I'm expecting that same result when they were doing this DNA, so that we can actually place in all the categories. 99.99% must be linking these individuals to the head. But if none, or if there's 0% or there's 2% or 5%, you can't be the father if it's 2%. You can't be. That's one. And then bank transactions, I'll go back to yesterday's story. Bank transactions that were being read out, try to link or to track accused one. Mr. Anu, I stay in Australia. My daughter stays in Johannesburg.
Yeah.
She uses my bank card. She uses my bank card. Does that mean I'm in Johannesburg? No. What the investigating officer was supposed to do was to try to go to where those withdrawals were done and try to look at a CCTV so that they can see who is withdrawing. And then if they've got a video and say, we captured you withdrawing, man, then you were in Johannesburg. You cannot just say, because there's a transaction at Tops, you assume that it's me who is at Tops. No.
Yeah.
All these South African banks, they do have 2 bank cards, 3 bank cards. You just request, you can get a card, give it your partner, and then the partner goes and withdraws. And that's it. And the other issue, ID from Mjiyakho. You are right. I'm also thinking they're answering to a podcast or whatever vlogger that is saying the guy is not from SA, and then today we came and say he showed me his South African ID. What does showing your South African ID mean? I am a non-South African.
Yeah.
I am a non-South African.
Yes.
I stayed in South Africa for 12 years.
Yeah.
I acquired permanent residence.
Yes.
When you acquire permanent residence, you get a South African ID.
Yes. You do.
And the differential between a citizen and an ID that I have that is for a non-South African is the 3rd last number.
Yes.
Your ID number, if you're South African, Mr. Arno, it ends with a 08 whatever, 0 of the year of your birth. It says 0 and then the year of your birth.
Yeah.
Or whatever, 82, whatever, 84. But mine is, I'm a non-South African. It ends with a 1 at the end.
But it's your
which
South
shows I'm a non-South
African
African.
ID.
So if you just open my ID and then you see your ID has got a 1 at the end, 18, whatever, 1, whatever, the 3rd last number, if it's a 1, it's an identifier that you're non-South African.
Yes.
So this issue that he gave me the South African ID, I don't know what it means, because even me, I'm a non-South African, but I do have an ID.
You have a South African
and then
ID.
the other point I wanted to say is, you know, yesterday I did find out that the prosecutor turned out to be investigating, even when you see today, because surely what that getting what was doing was nonsensical. I still maintain it. He might have taken it personal, even the judge, I don't know, but everything that he has been doing, that AIO is nonsensical. Yeah. And then the last point, the confessions. The confessions were done freely and voluntarily. Right?
Yes.
Freely and voluntarily. But these guys get to court and they say we plead not guilty. Make that sense for me, man.
And they deny this,
Yeah,
the identity kit.
but if I make freely and voluntarily, and then I must plead guilty. Yeah, and then we take it from there, and then we say these guys are the ones. But at least today I got some answering. I remember yesterday I was answering what was the link between 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and 5. I can see that it was just the confession of tongues that links all of them, try to put all of them. But like you are saying, if Zungu was there, why is the confession not including Zungu as well? Because they must say we were drinking with Zungu and we were also with Gwabin and if there was Gwabin involved, it must also say so. But in some parts it says something and then in some parts it doesn't say something and then you say it's true. But anyway, I don't know where we are going. And Sister Emily, don't worry too much about this case. This case is like the other guy who committed that football can cause a real death. This case can actually cause a real death to this one, because what happens in there is something else. But yeah, oh good, yes, thanks for a good job.
Thank you.
I wonder what happens in that court high corner.
Right. Let's hear what others have to say. Guys, let's continue pushing the like button. Now this is the time where I start from up. Thank you, Lorna, our member. Thank you for this gift. Dipuo, thank you very much. We appreciate you. Bonolo,
Lorna.
thank you. Net,
Dipuo.
thank you.
Thank
We
you, Net.
appreciate you. Zozo Mahlango, thank you. Sizwe 18, thank you. Masiabelo, thank you very much. Hey, I'm learning to read your
Yes.
name. Modisa, thank you very much. Sbongseni Masilela, thank you very much. We appreciate you. G Moodley, thank you. Boitumelo MC Master, thank you. Busani Sibanda, thank you. Chuku Anna, thank you very much for being with us here. Raisibe,
Yes.
thank you very much. Kanyembe, thank you very much for being with us here. Dan, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate you. And just Princess Mtinti, thank you very much for being here. Lola, I've mentioned you. Nomsa Sasa, thank you very much for being here. Lindiwe, thank you very much for being here. Brendangema and Dusi, thank you very much for being here. Diokas Shabalala, thank you very much for being here. Let's go down. Vusutando Makobane, thank you very much for being here. Crash, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate you. Shanji Wesibanda, thank you very much for being here. We also appreciate you. Ndazi Nyelea, or Ndazi though. Thank you very much for being here. Nleya. Yeah, Nleya, that's how I would read it. Thank you very much for being here. Just going down, Ashima Cheka, thank you very much for being here. Going further down, looking Gwelagiti, we appreciate you. It's been a while. Gwelagiti, I've not seen your name for a while. Colin Lovu, Kajen, thank you very much for being here. Just going down, Tingan, thank you very much for being here. Emily is getting flu, eh?
I am.
No, you're gonna transfer it to me. Progress Ndungunye, thank you very much for being here. Let's see. Solomon Msiza, thank you very much for being here. BK, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate you here. This side, you are needed.
So the aircon.
Yes, it's the
I
aircon.
wish you could switch it off.
It's killing you. Yeah? My machines, they need it.
I am dying of the cold.
Bomusa Mangele Duyazi, thank you very much for being here. Begi Ngumalo Zuite, thank you very much for being here. Just going down. Sipo Nengu, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate you. Nelile Chua, thank you very much for being here. And yeah, we are Lula Amasirai, thank you very much for being here. Stelo Mloi, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate you guys. That's why we go through your names just to say a word of appreciation. Let me hear this column. Zanzi, hello.
Hey, Zanzi family, how you guys doing?
We're good, sir. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Hello?
Yes,
Hi,
sir. You
hi.
can shoot if you cannot hear us, but we can hear you.
Okay, yeah, now I can hear him. Zanzi family, thanks for taking my call.
Yes.
Yeah, I think there's few points I wanted to raise. First point is about the DNA.
Yeah.
I want to say, God, these guys do not understand how the DNA works. And Judge Rata has no way to bypass the DNA. It has to be 99% or nothing else. Whether they like the 2%, otherwise they'll have to throw away all the cases in court. Thousands and thousands of them will have to be thrown away just to suit the story. And I don't think that's impossible. So whether they like it or not, they misunderstood the DNA, and it's brought them to where we are today.
Yes.
You know. And I think another thing that I've noticed with all these police officers that come in the even Kininda, they have this attitude with them that gives you the idea that it's what I say or nothing else.
Yeah.
Which means for all these years, South Africa has been convicting people over the police officer's word. You mean we have stayed disagreeing that WhatsApp call did not exist in 2014. He disagrees, I don't agree with it. I mean, tell me whatever you want to tell me. I'm saying it was WhatsApp call. Whether it was there or not there, he didn't give a damn. He just said, I don't agree with it. Even Baloyi, when they object to him, he has this smirk in his face and this attitude that he gives that shows you their attitude is, so what? And I think that's the problem that South Africa has right now.
Yeah.
And the conversation about having a jury should be here. Should start from this case because it's easy to convince Rata. We can see he's so quiet right now. He don't take nothing on the objections from the defense. He don't care. But wait until they come together to do their cross-examination. He'll be like he just woken up from the dead, shutting them down every chance he gets. But with the jury, this case would have been done. They would have done a much better job than what they did. I was shocked to hear that in South Africa right now, there are people who actually have podcasts who believe evidence is true. I mean, you just cannot make that up. You just cannot make that. You know, I mean, yeah. But thanks, guys. You guys are doing a great job. I think this will only rely on the DNA. Whatever evidence they bring right now, I don't care. This DNA is what we're gonna have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for taking my talk.
Thank
you. But hey, ne jury asabisa.
Joe Monare. Because
can you imagine, like, if you are part of that jury and you don't agree with the majority?
What happens?
Because what happens usually with a jury, they have to come to a decision. It's a type of a voting situation.
Yeah, you say I didn't agree to it. But at least it's many people.
We're in South Africa, Pela.
Yeah, anyway, even in America, the jury is not
they are
reliable.
Influenced.
Yeah, but it's better than having one person like some demigod. Joe Munare, thank you very much. Really.
But yeah, it's better than having one person who has all the power.
Yes.
Distributed.
John, it's Creamy John, I think. Thank you very much for being here. And yes, I saw someone saying, wait, you're saying I'm butchering your name. Yes, I'm sorry about that. Fixing, I'm trying to cover everyone. That's why I'm in a hurry. Archie Macheka, thank you very much for being here. Peterson, thank you very much for being here. Just going through everyone because there are people who are always in the middle. I miss them most of the time. So Thokozis Lang, thank you. It's been a while. Our moderator. Colin Vavidal, thank you very much. Pedro, thank you very much for being here. Mrs. K, thank you. We appreciate you. Charlie, Dawid, thank you very much for being here. Just going through this very quickly because, Pella, I must sleep. Otherwise, this evidence it requires you to sleep.
Yeah, it's too much. Guys, forgive us. When it comes to Brigadier.
Ngodzo.
Listening to
thank
him.
you very much for being here.
It's too much.
Yes, it is hard because he talks a lot. The guy talks a lot, and it is what it is. Zephania. Thank you very much for being here. I'm trying to. Bonolo, I've mentioned you. Mami Funeka, thank you very much for being here. Mhlaba Lindi, thank you very much for being here. Yes, Brian Stolle, thank you very much for being here. Busi Kumete, thank you very much. Lula Masrai, I have maybe mentioned you. Mamelo Skunana, thank you for being with us here. Jim Woodley, I've mentioned you. Uncle Nails, I've mentioned you. If not, yes, I have now. Lindy, I've mentioned you. Just going through, and thank you again for all the support, guys. We appreciate you. Gaby, our member, thank you for being with us. Thank you for being with us. Yes. Nokutula Mkiza, thank you very much for being with us here. Let me see. Spusiso Ndlovu, I've mentioned you. Hazel Bebe, thank you very much for being here. And Togozo Mbata, thank you very much for being here. Fiso Sindani, thank you, our member. Tapiwa, thank you very much for being here. Z Nyazi, thank you very much. Fitness coach, thank you very much for being here. Tumelo, I've mentioned you, and Mrs. Case, Lola. I think I've covered Slanjiwe. I've covered everyone as quick as I can. Good night, Nat. Good night, everyone who was with us here. Please, on your way out, like the video, press that like button as much as you can. Make sure that it is pressed when you go out. We appreciate you very much. God bless you. Good morning.
Good morning.